Hi there, I wanted to talk about a random thing that came to my head just a few minutes ago actually. I do think about these things a lot, and sometimes it takes a while to realise, but this time it was almost immediate. For some reason my head just works like that, and I even lost sleep last night, but that aside, the point of the video is to talk to people about this common mistake that I see a lot of gamers make. And when I say gamers, I mean just people who play video games. If it's mobile games or PC games, console games, whatever. Or even like mini handhelds or for fuck's sake, even Nokia, like when they had Snake on the really old phones. Even though it doesn't really apply to that as much. But yeah, I wanted to discuss really the issue with committing to a game just because of something that you like and the rest is garbage. I think this is a very sort of toxic mentality and it's not good for gaming. In fact, it probably brings the toxicity into gaming because there's obviously dissatisfaction there. And I see this across multiple games like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Two that I currently play, but I can see why players wouldn't want to play it because of the daily investment and whatnot, but possibly liking the story as well. Like I play it as part of a routine to sort of keep my memory intact, as I do currently experience memory issues. I think a lot of the time, a lot of gamers seem to commit to something just because of like money or story or even the gameplay in some aspects, and the rest is shit. So just one of those things, and then the rest is shit, and that's not good. And I have to say the same about like Sonic games. Like I used to play a lot of Sonic games when I was younger, and I play them as an adult and don't really enjoy them as much, to be honest. And it's a bit like, okay, well, I enjoyed this as a kid, but I don't really enjoy it now, so I don't need to care about it. I don't need to make it my life, and I don't even need to say, like, this was the best game that I've ever played. And it ties into the thing I was going to talk about a while ago, but I forgot about the burden of proof. And it's something universal that applies to everything now. And really, the burden of proof is just how much of your information relies on you proving it. So that becomes difficult, and with a game like Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, Sonic, actually in another case I just remembered, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom. But if people say Zelda games are amazing on the Switch, and I played them and fucking hated them. And that's the burden of proof, really. Like, it needs to be demonstrated why it's such a good game. And to me, I just find so many flaws that I just don't enjoy it, and that more than justifies me not liking it and not wanting to play it. Like, if it was a well developed game, I would actively commend it. That's the word. I almost said condemn. No. The problem is, I don't see it as well developed. It's a miracle it runs on the Switch, but that's only half the story. It's a bit like Elden Ring. Like, I've never touched the game, but it's undeniably well made, and it appeals to a specific audience. And so I don't want to invest in it too much. Like, I can watch it, that's fine. I just don't want to play it because my mental health can't handle it. And yeah, it means the game is flawed in some way because it means that I can't play it, but it's still well made. That's the point. Whereas Breath of the Wild, it's like, okay, you got this walking simulator, you got really cheap combat with breakable weapons for some stupid fucking reason. It's like, what's the point? Why even bother? Like, your weapon's just gonna break all the time. So yeah, um, trying to think now. What else is to say? I guess at the end of the day, all this means is that you don't need to make a commitment to it because of money or just some aspect that you find that you like of it. Like, we should be evolving as a social species, and all that people could do is throw insults and death threats and just toxic positivity, as I call it. It's a term I think exists, I don't know. But I've always understood it as trying to be positive about something that isn't necessarily positive. And it's not always great, because you can't really improve people's well-being, or in this case, well-being, games well-being, state of games. Let's just say, I don't know a better word for that. There'll always be problems like that, and I think it shows the best intentions when you know what people need / what games need, and that's really where it shines. I've observed that in my short time of being alive, and that's an incredible thing, to be honest. Yeah, just please don't commit to something that you don't enjoy. That's what I'm saying. Like, if I didn't enjoy making music or artwork, I'd probably stop. Although I do have something technically to help me power through that, because it is a tedious process. But yeah, like, I do routine, and with artwork, I tend to watch a TV show on the side. For some reason, my ADHD allows me to multitask, so why not? I don't know, one day I might grow a third arm, so I'll do something else with that. Anyway, I think that's all I've got to talk about. Really, this is the biggest mistake that gamers make. And I think it probably talks to a lot of people, but at the same time, this will probably get to the wrong audience. So I don't know if it actually matters to people. And this is what I mean by, like, toxic positivity. Like, you can lie to yourself, a game is great, but it's not always going to be great. That's the point. I've said this with Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail, which I've sunk thousands of hours into. And even Team Fortress 2, which still struggles, to be honest. What else? Yeah, World of Warcraft, I quit because it just wasn't good. It had so many quality of life issues and such, so there's no point. Yeah. I suppose that's it for the video anyway. There isn't much to it, I'm not going to edit something. There's no point. I don't have the audience for it yet. But yeah, it frustrates me at times because I see this sort of behaviour everywhere. It's why I think Breath of the Wild has such a cult following, and also it's like a bit like taking words out of other people's mouths. Right? Basically, mob mentality. I think that's the term. A lot of people hear something's great, and then they sort of clutch onto that the same way that they hear X game is bad now, because people say so, and then everyone just believes that without really looking into it, like blindly leading the blind. That's a term that's been around since forever. Probably before Christ, for all I know. And before crust. I'll try not to make many bread puns. You haven't seen the worst of it. No. You haven't seen the yeast of it. I don't know. I'll stop. I'm interested to know what people think, though, about this topic. Have you had this mistake happen to you? And I know that I have. It's like a bad relationship, really, like with Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2, for example. I've sort of had to come to terms with giving it up. So yeah, I didn't want to give it up, but Overwatch 2 became Marketplace, so yeah, fuck it, I'm not playing it. And so I went on to TF2 and Deep Rock Galactic, and Deep Rock Galactic is fucking amazing. You should check it out. It honestly wasn't what I thought it would be. I have no regrets going into it. And that's rare to say for a game, because most of the time, with like Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact, I'm like, yeah, it's good story, okay gameplay, good graphics, and style, of course, but it has issues, and I do regret some points in it, like certain character investments and whatnot. With Deep Rock, you don't have any of that. You don't have to worry about investments being a waste. You don't have to worry about microtransactions and FOMO. It's really well designed, just objectively speaking. I would play it more if it had more end-game content. I think that's the only thing holding me back from playing it more. Yeah, I'll stop now. Finally end the video. Pisces.